Hi everyone. Dementia units are tough places to live in. White walls, white doors, doctors and nurses in white coats, different routine, different food, different drink, inability to move out freely, often difficulty being able to phone out. It's just everything is different, foreign and demanding. And unless the person develops some confidence and cognition, it's practically impossible to face the challenges. If not, then they'll escalate into anxiety or anger or fall back into depression. So how to activate this cognition and confidence? Because with dementia, the mind and memory is dysfunctional, the person with dementia needs to think through their intellect. And for that, they need to have material that activates that intelligence. Reading, writing, newspapers, activities, crossword puzzles, all these things are really important in a dementia unit so that the dementia resident has that chance of being able to think, study, read, understand, all of which is what activates the intellect. So they need that material. They need a library in their room and in the facility so that they can flick through magazines, do the crosswords in the newspaper, at least to the degree that they were interested in before. And even if not, it can be stimulated and encouraged with group reading, individual reading, being read to, being asked to read back, etc. All these things of which we've gone through extensively in the workshops. It's really important. I mean, they don't have to be new books and new magazines. They can be garnered from, garage sales, house sales, library sales, friends and family that have a pile of magazines around or books. If someone's passed away, there'll always be a load of books in the house. So they can be bought in. And all you need is a cupboard, and the activities coordinator, the diversional therapist can put them in the cupboard. And labelling is best. For example, in New Zealand, we have labels such as the Royal Family magazines and books, big one, tractors and trains, and farm equipment for the farmers, for men shed activities, then gardens and flowers, house and garden books and magazines. The women love that, and many men, etc. I mean, you'll have different categories in your country, the books and magazines that residents enjoy reading. So just categorize them, just so that when, that they are dished out to the residents by staff or family or relatives, at least there's some order. Bearing in mind that the wanderers, in a dementia facility, of course, there's a vast range of ability with people. You've got people that have very fast onset dementia and people that, are very confused. And so, and they'll wander around the unit and they'll often take the magazines or books and unconsciously rip them up, put them somewhere else, down the toilet or out the window or whatever. And so books do get ruined often. So that's why you need a whole range of them, so that if they get wrecked and ruined, which some will, there's a good turnover of books and magazines. So it's not a lending situation like a library. It's like giving the books and then not even rotating the books. It's just giving the books, letting the residents read them, and then the ones that get torn up or too, messy to read, they just need to be thrown out. But because people are reading less and there's, so many books and magazines around to access, they're fantastic. They can come to the dementia unit and people can start to read and get that cognition going and their intellect functioning and, all the positive, happy things that comes from that. I'll actually just read here from the book, The Resident's Voice, an extract from Jack, the Brigadier General, on the topic that we've discussed today, because he puts it, perfectly. So Jack, you must keep up to date with what is newsworthy, literature, newspaper, the news. You have to go along the intelligence road. You can learn from your mistakes with your past memory. If the other residents drift down, they get depressed. Many here can't cope with the modern world, technology, etc. even decimal currency, older people had a hell of a lot of difficulty. You have to use your intellect in the modern way of thinking for problem solving. As the older you get, the more problems you get. Depressed people can't cope with modern life. So that's from Jack, the Brigadier General. He was the one that he was just fantastic with the women that were depressed and anxious. He would go around them, he'd settle a anxious woman down by saying, it's okay, dear, everything's all right. We all live here. You live here, your home's here, and we're here to support each other. And with the depressed woman, he'd, boost up their spirits, saying good morning, giving them a little pat on the back and an encouraging word. So everything, that Jack did at the unit was an enormous help. And there'll be other quotes and quotations. There's so much about Jack in here, but some of which I'll be continuing to read to you in the future videos. Now, of course, you'll know that there's the two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, which I've written for those of you that have been following along with things. Now, they're on Amazon, so the first two chapters of each book are on Amazon if you want to flick through and see what that's about. Now, with the books themselves, the first half of the book is a novel written like the days of our lives in a dementia unit. The mid part, or at the end of the novel, is the report about this work, about the mind and intellect, as I'm explaining today and on other videos. And the last part is epilogues, practical positive techniques for relatives to be able to help when their family member goes into a dementia unit, which is this book, and when they are already in a dementia unit, which is The Resident's Rise. Now, these books, they're handy, small, light. There's soft cover version, which is this version. There's hard cover version, if you want a more solid book. And then there are ebooks as well. So the three types of books you can get. What I've found is my doctor actually has got a copy, and she uses it as a library copy for other staff at the medical facility. Quite a number have read it. Also in New Zealand, the libraries have copies of both books, and you can get them at the library. And I think other countries are getting the books from the library, judging from Amazon sales. I think Germany, America, maybe other countries. So check, there might be a library copy in your country. Otherwise, through Amazon, you can get the soft book, the hardcover, and the ebook. So, it's all there. There's quite a lot. And below in the description, from my website, www.pietavalentine.com, you can get the books from there through the website. So that's another easy way. And also all the videos, 25 videos from each book from YouTube that we've been doing here are on the website. So, now another thing I've just started to do is under the description, I'm putting my notes for these talks. The first lot of videos, the notes were in the books, in the epilogues. So I didn't need to put them under the description because you could get them from the book if you chose to get the book. And of course you can see from the subtitles, the content, but with under the description now for the first video, I do 2 videos each day presently. Under the first video, I'm putting my notes for the talk under description so that if you wish to read those, they're there for you. So thank you for your interest, comments, likes, and please pass on the links. Thank you.